Are the Vancouver Canucks about to make a trade? Well, we don't really know that answer, but Jim Rutherford had a lovely podcast where he went into a ton of information, especially when it comes to the center positions. And if you haven't had a chance to go listen to it, it was on 100% John Shannon's, the podcast there with Millard and Shannon, 100% Hockey, sorry. Definitely go check it out. It was really long and it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. But you all know who else really enjoyed it? Corey, what's going on, my man? Canucks News summary guy himself joining us for another video. What's up, Corey?
I love listening to Jim Rutherford talk. That man can. It takes me
Yeah,
such a long time to do summaries of when this man speaks because I'm constantly pausing because like every couple
yeah.
seconds, I'm like, oh, that's notable. Oh, that's a thing. Oh, okay, he said that. Like, dude is just a font of information and stories, and he's fun. Love it.
Yeah. And the information we got, like, it's not like it's like we blown away because we've heard like little
Yeah,
inklings of this before. It's just like he just completely like, no,
he
we're gonna
says it.
get drafted. No, we're doing it. We're like, it was just how it. So it's brilliant. So definitely go follow John Shannon and the 100% Hockey Podcast. But we're gonna get into it right now, and we also are going to be talking about Durant, and he has some updates on all of this as well. Really interesting stuff. So definitely enjoy this video if you guys like Canucks stuff and all this. I don't know what I'm saying. All right, here we go. Adding a center. Are always going to be high. So this is Rutherford. Not
Yeah,
a lot of players that teams are actually looking for. You need to step up and pay a price when a player becomes available. Interesting. There are okay at center, but we can get through it with our centers. Talks about adding another center and moving one of the current centers to the wing will give more roster flexibility. Is
yeah.
comfortable with Hito as a second line center and talked about him quite a bit, but still wants more center depth. And the more depth you have, the better chance you have to make the playoffs. I'll let you start this one off, Corey.
Yeah, it's what I really liked him talking about. Like, he's not specifically saying second line center. You can infer they're looking for a middle six center. And
Mhm.
that jives with some other rumors we heard as well. The idea is that I find really fascinating is, hey, we're going to acquire a center, and then we are going to shift one of our current centers to win.
Mhm.
Which, like, oh, okay, they are looking for someone who is an actual center, and we've seen them do this in the past, right? Well, that's why they got Lindholm. They looked at Lindholm,
Mhm.
said Lindholm is a center. That is the position he plays. And so, like, they're looking for that either on the second or third line. And they make trades every training camp. Every single training camp, they've made trades. They've done it to shed salary, and they've done it to bring in salary.
Mhm.
So, and this year, it's we'll talk about it more later, but they have some flexibility to make that
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, because the cap, we have more cap space, and he's been now. He did mention they were going to fix the center position, in the
Yeah,
offseason, which obviously it didn't happen. So that's why everybody's so like, oh my God, I think I made like 8 videos on Jack Roslovich. No, I'm just kidding. But Jack Roslovich still not signed, by the way. Potential hybrid center there if you want a really cheap option. But with Drancer, you're going to find out that's probably not going to happen.
yeah,
But yeah, the thing interesting about Rutherford here, and before we get to the next part here, what's interesting about it in general is Jim Rutherford. Though, if you listen to the tone, it's like he made it very clear they're not done. He even challenged. I think it was John Shannon. I think he challenged him where he said like, "Hey, he's like, we can go with Hito." He's like, "Yeah, but we need depth. We need this. We need that. Like, we need another center upgrade. Like this season's really important because it's Quinn Hughes season. We need to win it." Like he really went out and
well,
subconsciously said we're not second line center, but that we are not done. Like that's why I truly believe that we are going to get a trade here within the next month or two for a center. Like I
yeah.
am more certain now than ever now, Corey. Truly. All right. So any
I mean,
final
I've
notes
been
on
I've
that
been
first part?
certain since the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
Like when they said we're gonna get a center. So I'm like, yeah, I think that they've been wanting to get a center the whole time. It's just finding a dance partner. One thing with Rutherford is he's not how do you say when you recount his words and you put more emphasis and energy into how he actually says things,
Mm.
he's pretty flat because he's a 76-year-old man and he talks like 76-year-old men, which is like this very kind of calculated cadence to the way he's saying everything, and he
But
doesn't
he's
get
so
overly
honest
excited.
when he
But he's
talks too.
so it's that's the point. That's the other thing. Like
Yeah.
I've said before, he reminds me of my dad.
He's
He
a
talks
great
just like
listener,
my
man.
dad.
Or
He's
talker.
just such a fun guy to listen to. He says he's being honest. He said he's
Yeah.
I have it in the recap. I get in trouble for it.
Yeah, he says, "Fuck it, I'll just say it the way it is, man."
I'm
Like
an old
screw it. Like,
man.
but he has been a little bit more careful. But then, like when it comes to
Yeah.
things like this, he's like, "Oh fuck it, whatever." He doesn't say
Well,
that. But like,
he's already said
it's
it. Like he's already said, like I said, we needed to do it. It's obvious. Like his
yeah.
whole thing,
And
Jim
he
Rutherford
keeps
doesn't.
saying it.
Well, he doesn't. I give him a ton of respect.
Yeah.
And this is maybe a failing of his. He's treating people like adults and just saying things that are obvious to everyone. Like it's the
Yeah,
same thing with the Quinn Hughes
I
stuff, right?
think
He's just saying something, and then but he said it. It's like but we're all talking about it anyway. It's just he's saying it. We want these presidents and general managers to be more open, especially when you have Patrick Alvin who won't say anything. And I also like listening to Alvin, but it's funny trying to pick apart
yeah,
what
it's
he's saying.
completely two different.
It's the opposite, right?
Complete opposite
But
personality. But
Rutherford will
he's more
just go out
guarded.
there like, we're going to trade this guy. We're going to acquire this guy. Whatever. Great. Deal with it, Pat. I'm going to,
And it does get us in trouble sometimes. Like obviously,
Yeah.
sometimes you do need to just not say the things you got to say. But let's continue on here. And I also like when Millard I think it was Millard or Shannon. I'm not sure which one it was. But he said. He's like, do you like? Why are you like so honest? Like about like everything.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just how I am. He's basically what
he treats the fan base like adults, like they can handle these concepts. And unfortunately, I think it's kind of showing that most of us actually can't, and we freak out over it.
All right, so concerns at center. So need better depth at forward, especially at center ice. Says that Sasson has had a good camp and Amon is a safe player. He really believes in Waller, and but missed training camp. Unfortunately, he was hurt. Says Coots is very smart, fast, and competes. Has made it a very tough decision. Is sure his junior team is hoping they send him back soon, but he's not because he's going to be the next Sidney Crosby. No, I'm just kidding. I had that part for fun. All right, I'm joking. For the love of God, don't attack me. All right, at the end of the day, I know it's going to be obvious you want to improve the team, but no, they really want to just continue to improve the team because it's the Quinn Hughes year, man.
It's
like
the Quinn Hughes year.
Let's not pretend or go. It's the Quinn Hughes year. We need to be as good as possible. And it's gonna be expensive to find it because he was asked about like it's how does the prices look like, and he did like nicely mention it's gonna you're gonna have to pay something for it.
Yep.
But it's just like it's obvious, right? Like you're gonna have to give up one of some decent asset unless you're going against Zaka or something. You can give a protected first or something, if you're gonna do that for Zaka, for example, because that's just the way it is.
They've had things in the works, and like he's kind of hinted at something. Mm-hmm. He did the same thing with it's a minor trade, this Studnicka for like Nick Cicek trade, and like where he's basically said like, yeah, I think there's someone we really liked, and we went, and then they went and like made these trades. Like he has done this stuff before. He's a scamp. I love him.
So Thomas Drancer there. We love Drancer.
Drancer's great.
Guy. What I'm hearing about the Canucks' final roster decisions, the trade plans, and more. So he goes into a bunch of details. Go check that beautiful article out. He goes into more details. But we have Canucks news summaries with the recap once again. Corey, with the recap once again. Thank you so much for this.
I ignored my children today to write this.
Trade priorities. I still find it funny people think you're AI sometimes with the
I make too many spelling mistakes, like grammatical errors to be AI. AI wouldn't make the ones I do.
This guy spends so much hours just listening to this stuff. Well, he's a hardcore trooper. We got to give him the love. All right, trade priorities here. Alvin has had active trade discussions, but is difficult to gauge whether anything will come of this. Okay, so it doesn't mean much. Not the same level of roster or cap crunch as in years past. Important. We have cap because of the Joshua trade mostly for both the Canucks and the rest of the league. Great. Canucks are eager to give their young players a chance on the roster and aren't looking to bolster the lineup with depth players. Pretty obvious. We knew that coming into the camp.
No Lafferty's.
Yeah, so it's a thing. So still shopping for this is again like Drancer now mentioned this. Still shopping for an impact center. Impact is an important word there. Ideally a second line center, but a third line center would work as well. You know who I want? Pinto. just random. We'll probably
Yeah,
talk about
I
who we're
would
looking
love
at.
Pinto. I would absolutely love
That is.
Pinto.
I know Ottawa probably wouldn't trade him, but
Yeah,
man, that is a guy I would target because I feel he has so much untapped potential.
they've been playing him in the top 6 though. Like
Yeah.
for the I've been trying to follow around guys I was like interested in maybe seeing. I'm like, oh, they're giving him
And
opportunity.
and we will mention a little bit at the end here, like who potentially,
Yeah,
you know,
we'll
they
throw
could be
some
looking
names
at.
out.
Yeah. Are working through the process of potentially trading young players they are excited about. Organizational desire to have the best season possible to entice Hughes. Yes, so it's all this season is about Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
Let's keep him happy. Winning helps a lot. Canucks believe their best chance of keeping Hughes is if they have a successful season. They're right.
Yep.
And is it worth to trade Lekkermaki, Willander, or Mancini? Well, that's a call they have to make.
Yeah.
Personally, I would be okay with it if they get a legitimate second line center in that package. Would I trade Willander, for example, for a third line center? I wouldn't go that far. No, I wouldn't do it. He's just too much potential, too young, and I wouldn't do it. I don't even side head me.
Well, I'm just
Corey.
no. I'm thinking. I'm just trying to think who that would like. What would a third like?
Well, I consider Shane Pinto a. Okay,
so that's what I was going to say.
He's not a second line center.
Would you trade him for a Shane Pinto, like 1-for-1? If they
technically he's a third line center, but I feel like he has enough ability to be a second line center. So in that scenario, maybe I guess. Would I say Willander? Would I trade Willander for Pinto? Holy crap, that would be a hell of a trade idea.
It's a hard call, right?
I know a lot of people don't realize how good Pinto is.
And that is the downside you're making. Like Pinto's not been and this is the same with say a Cole Sillinger. Those guys have not been above third line center. So if you're trading Willander for that, you can see a ceiling. Yeah. But you kind of know what the floor is, and if they never get above the floor, like, ooh, is that? But then also you're betting that Willander actually has a lower ceiling that you would expect. So
yeah, I just don't want to trade these guys, but like it's so hard. That could be I found it interesting another video discussion in the future to figure out if you guys would like what you guys like chat. You guys are listening. And by the way, if you haven't liked this video, please like it. It helps a ton. Leave comments, interact with us, subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 before the regular season. That would be great if you guys join. Also follow Corey as well. But you know, like I'm curious what you guys think about this as well. So moving on here.
Hold on. Sorry, I did find it encouraging that, and I specifically noticed this of the 3 names that he mentioned. So Drance mentions Lekkermaki, Willander, Mancini, and he doesn't say exactly. That was I'm like, oh, and like my heart skipped a beat as I was reading and like recapping. I went, oh, okay, good. My giant angry Swedish boy is not in there.
DPD has bypassed
he's untouchable.
Everybody.
He's been considered untouchable by the organization like since midway through last year, where they're just like, nah, this guy's got it.
Corey, when I said like I'm not on the Coots, I'm not at the front of the Coots hype train. I'm in the back. I'm a part of it, but I am on the front of the I am the captain.
Whoa.
I am the guy.
I have been the conductor of the DPD hype train since like
captain of the boat.
His D+1 season. I was just like everything I've seen, everything I've read, single thing about this guy. He's awesome. Is my type of defenseman. He's the kind of guy that I will fawn over for years and years and years. Like like Matthias Ohlund is my favorite player of all time. Like that's the kind of player that I look at.
Hot take. He's gonna be better than Matthias Ohlund by the end of his career. Okay, here we go. That's a hot take. Ohlund was great though. Ohlund was great. That's a real hot take. I don't know. I'll say I'll add that for my hot take video. I am making a hot take video. All right, let's get to it. All right, replacing Nils Höglander will miss 8 to 10 weeks after ankle surgery. He had worked hard this offseason and arrived at camp in excellent shape. Canucks had considered adding Jack Roslovic on a bargain contract, but have backed away. Yeah. Oh, man, would rather let young players have a chance. Doesn't get the same sense. They're circling back around Roslovic. That's actually interesting news because there was like a mini report recently. I'm not sure who said it, that maybe they were looking to go back.
Sarah Valley. That was a Sarah Valley thing.
Was that Sarah Valley?
That was a Sarah Valley.
All right. We'll use the cap space created from trading Dakota Joshua on a clear roster upgrade. So they will use the cap space. Like that's again. Remember that we're talking about trades. They will. aiming higher than Michael McLeod or Roslovic. So again, like that
Yep.
puts him in the category. I guess Zaka would be ahead of them. That puts him
Yep.
in a category. So let's go with names here. So Zaka, right?
They've been
Right
connected to
off the
him
bat.
for a while, even before when he got
Yes,
traded to
correct.
Boston. It was rumored the Canucks were interested in acquiring him from the Devils. So they've
And
been they like him, and he's a good cromulent low end second line center.
cromulent.
Yeah, it's a Simpsons reference.
That is crazy. I have never heard that word in my life.
It's
Cromulent.
not it's not a
What?
real word. It's a
Oh,
Simpsons thing.
that's probably why I've never heard of it. All right, all right. So,
I don't know
uh,
why you haven't heard of it. It's a perfectly
the
cromulent word.
actually it does seem to work though.
Yeah.
So good, that's so good. I'm sure half the comments are gonna be cromulent now. All right, another name, McTavish, not happening. The dream is over.
Oh, yeah.
The dream
Dream. There
is
was never a
over.
dream. Like
No, there was
you
a
guys
dream. It
tried to
was my
manifest.
dream. My
People like
dream. All right. So that's not happening. And yeah, and then Pinto is another name like I really
Pinto's
want.
someone.
But is there anybody like from the top of your head that it could be
Yes.
that potentially could have a slow start to the season? Let's just say Buffalo is really bad for a couple of whatever months, or maybe some other team that's have a bad start. Like who could potentially be that guy?
Well, like if
Um,
you're looking at the Sabres, like I don't know, maybe
McCann.
well, if you're looking at the Sabres, you're looking at well, McCann's not really a center. He didn't play center at all last year. He
Mm,
hasn't. He's really not been
true.
got not good at that. And as much as I like McCann, and this is going to sound kind of weird, but his skill set is kind of redundant as like a shoot first player. Like he's very
We have
similar.
Lecker Mackey, right? To Lecker Mackey,
Well, and
right?
DeBrusque and Besser, like he's kind of just occupies the same role. Like as fun as it would be to have McCann, DeBrusque, Besser line, no one gets the puck. They're just gonna shoot, 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 shoot. It's like a bunch of guys just hucking up threes and not passing to each other.
And I know,
Um,
but I know McCann does not play for Buffalo. I just popped it, the
no, you
next
popped
name
that
that
up, so I
popped
went
up.
on him. If you're
But
looking at
anyways, yeah, go
Buffalo,
ahead.
Josh Norris, one of Hughes's best friends, which that list grows every time you talk
Mm,
to him about who his best friends are. We know the Canucks tried to acquire him from the Senators last year, trying to flip Yedel for him. So maybe that's something on the table, but that's basically one injury risk for a different injury risk, and to try to keep Hughes happy and hope that Norris, who at least has a history of being a very good second line center, but he signed long term to a big contract. Although
mm,
that's kind of getting smaller and smaller every year due to cap inflation. Um, I have looked and gone back and forth. There's not a lot of guys that you look at and go, those are clear upgrades. My personal project is Cole Sillinger of the Blue Jackets.
but would they
Um,
give him up, man? I don't
well,
know.
they're playing him on third line wing, and
Mm,
they've kind of like he's lost his place in the depth chart, and he's kind of moved down, moved down, moved down a bit. I think people look at his stats and they go like, why would they be interested in that? He's barely crested over 30 points in 4 years in the season. And to counter that, I say he's been in the league since he was 18. He cootsed his way into the league,
mm,
and so now he's at a Sam Bennett esque trajectory of
uh,
like kind of falling out of favor in his initial organization and seemingly topping out as a third line center until like we get him in a new situation, a new opportunity, an organization. I was going to say that it isn't a shit show, but
mm,
this is the Canucks we're talking about. So at any moment it could just burst into flames. But you put him in that opportunity, you put him in that role, and you have someone like Quinn Hughes feeding him, and like could he be someone who can excel in that spot? And he's young. He's only 22, and he's
no.
22 all season. So his age fits within the time frame. Like that's someone I would be excited about. I think a large part of the fan base and a lot of media would be underwhelmed, especially over what it would potentially cost. But I would be excited. He's big, like
Mm,
he's 6'2", over 200 pounds. Like he doesn't always stand out though when you watch him because he's still trying to figure out like where do I fit in. He's been through so many different coaches, and yeah, good argument. The Canucks have had the same problem, so it might not
yeah.
actually like work for the Canucks, right? But I look at a guy and go, you don't acquire Sam Bennett, who's I know someone you wanted the Canucks to sign when
Badly,
that
yes. The
right.
dream ended there too.
You want to acquire the next Sam Bennett, and I look at Colson Sillinger and I go, that's kind of the closest guy I can look at and go, well, there's that potential there.
how much does Corey like Cole Sillinger? He just rocked out. Respect. A 2.5 minute conversation just on Cole Sillinger and how he would fit. And so Corey, I can tell you're a big Sillinger guy. I haven't watched him a lot, so I would love to like just maybe one day I'll just spend some time watching his highlights and get back to you and then I'll share it with you guys on the either on a stream or on a video because it is fascinating because I know he has been the talk on a lot of like social media platforms with the Vancouver Canucks. And isn't he a local boy too? Am I tripping on that?
No, his dad played for the Canucks.
Oh, his dad played for the Canucks?
Yeah. Mike Sillinger played for the Canucks.
Also, we have to mention if they're on the replacing Nils Hoglander, we like the guy who seems to be the most not obvious, but because of how he's played in preseason, it's Lekkerimaki, man. Lekkerimaki has played great.
Yeah, it's a 1-for-1 basically. You swap that guy out, and you put the other Swede in, and go. But one more little thing on Sillinger. It's not just like I'm making this up out of thin air. And this involves Hoglander. Last season, when Rick Dhaliwal was reported that the Blue Jackets had interest in acquiring Hoglander, he said that a return for Hoglander, the Canucks would be interested in looking at and getting Sillinger. Canucks would have to add more to get him, but it's something like Dhaliwal's basically hinted at like the Canucks have had some internal interest in him as well.
Interesting. So there you go, guys. Like if Rutherford really got into it, your answer, some updates here. It was fascinating. Corey, thank you so much for joining us once again. I hope you guys have a lovely, lovely day. When
Trades will happen.
Trades will happen
happen
soon.